It's ridiculous, because it's getting ridiculous. It's really ridiculous. Yes, man, this is ridiculous, man. Ridiculous.
While it is felt that the 2018-19 NBA season has gone by relatively injury-free, knock on wood, the return of DeMarcus Cousins has made me think about all the stars that have missed significant action here this season. So without further ado, here are 5 stars that have missed the majority of the 2018-19 season and a reminder of just how talented they really are. I'm going to start this list off with the player that I have missed the most, and that has to be the 7'3" unicorn, Kristaps Porzingis. Look, the Knicks are bad, and everyone knows it, but the makeup of this team is so different when Porzingis is on the floor, and up until this point, KP has yet to come close to touching that hardwood. Last season, the Knicks were 7.5 points better per 100 possessions with KP on the floor, and I feel like some people are starting to forget just how good this kid is. Don't forget that through the first few weeks of last season, KP was averaging almost 30 points a game and led a Knicks roster made up of Lance Thomas, Michael Beasley, and other cast-offs to a 10-7 record, and even had Knicks fans thinking about the playoffs. KP is a special player, and I can't wait to see him out there balling with Kevin Knox, Frank Ntilikina, and Mitchell Robinson, either later this season or sometime next year, as there is still no timetable for his return. The second NBA star fans have missed here during the 2018-19 season is John Wall. Now I know at this point in time in history it almost feels wrong to call Jay Wall a star because of the reports surrounding his untradeable contract. The thing is that when Wall is healthy, he is a bona fide star. Wall has played in 32 games this season but will likely miss the remainder of the season due to a heel injury. Some fans might not miss the selfish play of Wall, but will definitely miss that hero ball come playoff time. Don't forget that just last season, Wall averaged 26 points and 11.5 assists in his first round matchup with the Toronto Raptors. In the golden era of point guards, it also seems like this is the position getting hit by the injury bug the hardest, and our third player on this list is CP3. The Rockets point guard has only played in 26 games so far this season due to his nagging hamstring injury. There are some reports that say CP should be back in the coming weeks, but with the insane play of James Harden and Paul's age, I expect the Rockets to be very, very cautious with his return. Even though Paul is getting on the older side, fans are definitely missing his handles.
How do you normally say salt of the earth?
Well, he's more than that.
Oh, no, he did.
What a
play
no, he
Paul! Chris Paul, that is not right.
His dimes and his tough threes that have turned him into a point guard. The fourth player on this list is by far the shortest and yet another point guard. I'm of course talking about Isaiah Thomas, who still has yet to suit up for the Denver Nuggets. While the 5'9" point guard struggled last season, he is just 2 years removed from averaging nearly 30 a game, finishing top 5 in MVP voting and recording a 53-point game in the playoffs. Reports are out that say IT is pushing for a mid-February return from his hip injury, but it remains to be seen where he will fit in the Nuggets rotation. I don't see Jamal Murray and IT fitting together, especially on the defensive side of the ball, and there are even some reports out there that suggest Denver should look to trade IT. I'm not sure about all that, but one thing I am sure about is that I can't wait to see him back on the court, because when Isaiah is healthy and he has it going, he's as exciting as just about anybody in the NBA. The final player on this list has played in the last 4 NBA Finals and had NBA fans excited to see what he could do back in a starring role. I'm of course talking about Cleveland Cavs forward Kevin Love. Love signed a 4-year, $120 million extension with the Cavs over the summer, and he looked to step back into the role we saw him play with the T-Wolves when he had multiple seasons of averaging 26 and 12. However, just 4 games into the 2018-19 season, Love went down with a toe injury, and as of the time of this video, he still looks weeks away from returning. The Cavs are one of the worst teams in the NBA, and Kevin Love was one of the only things that made this team watchable. I know Cavs fans want to get the guy who looks like the second coming of LeBron James playing down there in Duke, but the lottery is no certain thing. I think another thing the Cavs need to look at is whether or not their rookie point guard, Colin Sexton, can play alongside K-Love. And that could be the determining factor on whether or not Love should stay with the Cavs heading into next season. And I want to end this video with an honorable mention on a player that's no longer a star, but someone that I miss watching more than just about anybody on this list, not named Kristaps Porzingis. That has to be my favorite player of all time, Carmelo Anthony. Melo still has a little left in the tank, as he showed in one of his last games as a Rocket when he scored 28 points on just 12 shots while leading the Rockets to a comeback win over the Nets. Either way, I can't wait to see Melo back in action, hopefully playing alongside his best friend at Staples Center. Alright guys, and that's going to do it for the video. The NBA still has more than enough stars to draw out the headlines, but the league will definitely be better when these 6 guys are back on the floor. Thanks for watching the video, and if you guys like it, please leave a like and tell me what players you've been missing the most this season in the comments down below.